welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Orange County, season 18, episode number 11.
We're almost through this, right?
I know we are. So we start with Gina goes over to Shannon's and she visits with her at her new place. And as she's walking over to visit with her, she picks 2 lemons off the tree of Shannon's neighbor, which is appropriate if you know Shannon and she likes her 8 lemons in a bowl.
Yep. I think it's 9.
I was going to say it is. I think it is a 9.
It just brings good energy, so we want to be right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Shannon's talking about her Dos Amigos show and what happened after she left Sonoma. And Gina lets her know about what Katie said about Gina using Heather for her wealthy connections for real estate, which we, kind of agree that I don't think that she said that. I don't think that she needs to do that. She's got her own career and she's got her own agency that she's working for. Then we see Emily, Jenn, and Katie. They meet up for breakfast. And Emily's talking about Annabelle and how she's just like Emily. Shane calls her Emily 2.0.
Yes.
Which I can definitely see. I mean,
Yes.
She's got that energy.
You can tell from her Instagram posts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Emily kind of, she feels like she overcompensates with her children because she didn't have much when she was growing up. So
Yeah.
she just wants to make sure that her kids have everything. And listen, I think as parents, we can relate to that. We want our kids to have everything.
Yeah.
And
More than what we had.
right. And
You always want your kids to have more.
right. Which I don't know, like, why do we want that? I think about it. I mean, I guess if you struggled, but I had everything I needed and then some when I was growing up, right?
Me too.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I didn't want for anything. I mean, I maybe wanted for things, but I didn't need anything.
Right. You have the necessities in life.
Right.
Yeah.
And my children do not want for anything either, which, again, it's our doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Is this when Emily says about the lawsuit that it's going to backfire on John? And is this when she mentions extortion?
Yes. So, I mean, well, before that, actually, Jenn says that she can relate because she's having a problem with her son, Dawson.
Oh, yeah.
When they're talking about how, she's really not really been a strict parent and she's, let him kind of do whatever it is he's going to do. But now that they're living at Ryan's house, Ryan has rules and he doesn't want to follow the rules. But then, yes, Emily does talk about how John Jansen and his lawsuit. I mean, I'll actually even quote her. She quotes in her confessional, in the California Penal Code, Section 518, extortion is a criminal offense where the defendant threatens to expose a secret of another person, which is exactly what John Jansen is doing.
And Alexis on camera.
Because at the same time this is happening, Shannon is telling Gina about that her attorney called her and said that, listen, John has so much as said that he's using these videos in case she gets out of hand.
Right.
So he has ammunition against her.
He's blackmailing her with the videos.
Yes. Which I can't believe that her lawyer then didn't just, this is criminal.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't understand why that didn't happen, to be quite honest with you. I really don't.
I'm hoping it is now that the season is playing and now that we're all seeing how they are doing this on camera and it's documented. I'm hoping that Shannon's attorney is pursuing something against them. He should.
Yeah, I think so.
Not. She needs a new attorney because Emily said it. She's a California attorney.
Right.
And we listened to the Bravo docket. And they're both attorneys in California, and they both said the same thing. So come on.
Exactly.
Somebody do something on her behalf.
I agree. 100% I agree. Jenn is also talking about the party that she's having at her house and that she reached out to Shannon, but Shannon didn't get back to her. And Katie said, well, maybe because she's busy with the show with Vicki, which it turns out that that's where she was. And they agree that it's probably best that Shannon doesn't come because Alexis is going to be there. Which, again, if Shannon's busy, I hear something weird in my ear. That's so weird. Anyway, I don't know what that was.
Big truck just drove by my house, like a really loud truck. I thought that's what you heard. I'm like, wow, you hear that?
I must have, to be quite honest with you.
Or it must have been that. It was like a big truck that just drove by.
Yeah, that was
or some loud vehicle.
Yeah. That must be what it was.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
It is funny. We really are neighbors. I mean,
We really are. See?
We're in our own homes.
But we're just that close.
So funny. So yeah, Emily asked for Katie and Jen's opinion when they're having the breakfast. She said, I want your opinion on something that happened at the fashion show.
Yeah.
She said her dress was a size 12. And first of all, I'm not a size 12, which you and I kind of last week talked about. I kind of thought she was probably a 10 or a 12. And you said, no, she's probably an 8. But really, that's not really relevant. I just was surprised that even came up.
I was too.
And then that Alexis had the same dress on as she, and she was a size 2 or a 4. She felt like she looked like she was going to court, which they agreed. Like, she did look very professional. I mean, I thought the dress fit her beautifully. I thought it looked beautiful on her.
By the way, that's what I was just going to say. The dress did fit her. So despite what size, listen, I can get different sizes in a lot of different things, and they're going to fit me differently. The bottom line is the dress did fit her beautifully. She looked great in it, and it did not look too big on her.
It did not.
But the funny part was when she said to them, that dress was a size 12, they were all like, they like gasped. I'm like, well, we can't hang out.
No.
I'm clearly too fat to hang out with them.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
I know they did gasp. And I was going to say, like you said, sizes vary by manufacturer. Absolutely. I can wear anywhere from a 12 to a 14 to a 16.
Yes.
I don't even look at the number. Whatever I feel comfortable wearing is what I wear.
Absolutely.
So I think
they are in Orange County, California, so it is different than Brick, New Jersey, obviously.
Right.
But ladies, do yourself a favor and just get comfortable in your own skin and just put things on that fit nice and make you feel good.
Yeah, I thought it fit her perfectly. I thought it absolutely fit her perfectly. But then she went on to say she realized at the end when everyone had on their white shirts that she was the only one wearing jeans. And that's when she realized that the clothes that Heather had that she was, in her fashion show probably didn't fit her. Which listen, if the dress fit her and that was a size 12, I'm sure that the clothes would have fit her.
Maybe they just didn't have pants in her size.
Maybe they didn't.
It was on location. Maybe they just didn't bring black pants in her size. And we're like, shit, what are we going to do now?
Right. I mean, the bottom line is she felt like she didn't fit in.
Yeah.
And she went to the bathroom and she had that mini breakdown, which, we both said we totally relate to because you shouldn't feel uncomfortable, especially when you're at a group outing with all your friends. And I know if it was me and I felt uncomfortable, I think I would say something just because I'm surprised she didn't. I'm surprised she didn't because she is outspoken.
She is. However, think about where they were. Yeah. They were at, a charity event or an organization that's, near and dear to Heather. So I can see why she didn't. I'm sure she didn't want to cause any drama. She just wanted to get through it.
And actually, she did say she didn't realize it until the end.
Right.
So at that point,
she saw the picture.
Right. Well, she saw
when they were taking the picture.
Right. That's when she's like, oh my God, I'm the only one wearing jeans.
Right. Right. By the way, why is she putting testosterone in her ass?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that too. Like, what is that about?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We should look that up and find out about that.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's hormone replacement, but why would it be testosterone?
I don't know. Maybe that's what's needed because she did mention on the podcast that her and Teddy they're both perimenopausal. So maybe that's something you do. I don't know.
I'll look into it though, because I'm perimenopausal.
Let us know. Let our listeners know.
Yeah, for sure.
What that's all about. And Emily does say that she didn't think Heather was, had a malicious intent when it happened. That she
did
just
say that.
Yeah, she just, doesn't realize all the work and effort that Emily puts in.
Right.
And, she asked the girls if she's being unreasonable, and they all say no, in your opinion. And that's when she mentioned about the testosterone pellets, and she's afraid that she may be a little bit more aggressive than she is normally, and that she's going to cry. But you know what? Maybe, I'll be honest with you, because we have seen her cry a lot this season, and we don't normally see Emily cry.
No.
So maybe it has something to do with the testosterone pellets and being perimenopausal. Yeah. Maybe that's all related because we all know how emotional, we can all be certain hormone levels, depending
Right.
on whether it's the time of the month or you're pregnant or
The week
whatever.
before,
Right,
I'm like a raging lunatic the week before.
right. So maybe, that's something that is a part of it. And
Yeah.
then we see Heather's getting ready to go to the GLAAD Awards, and she has been asked to be a presenter, and her jeweler, Martin Katz, is there with her as she's getting ready. Um, it's a great organization. I'm glad that she was there. I'm glad that she gave the award. I thought it was, listen, I keep saying this, but her and Terry, I really like them. I really do like them.
Yeah.
I know some people don't, but Terry says that his children are so loved and accepted in his family that he's not sure that they're even aware of the struggles that their community faces, which,
Right.
you know what? It's true. Like, they may not be because they've never experienced that.
Yeah.
And it's sad that anyone has to experience it, but that's just how this
Absolutely.
world is. There's going to be some people that accept things and some people that don't.
Yeah. Where did I hear it? But one state got rid of that conversion.
Yes, I just heard that too. I want to say it was it Florida?
I thought it was out in the Midwest, but
One of the
that's
one of the
that's a good step in the right direction for sure.
It absolutely is a good step in the right direction. Actually, Matt and I today, we did a lot today, but we went to the seafood festival in
Oh,
Point.
you did? I didn't even know what was happening. I mean, I was
Yep.
working anyway, but
Yep. We went to the seafood festival in Point, and then he
nice.
wanted to go to the Ocean County Library because they were having the gay men's chorus singing. So that was at 2:00. We left the seafood festival at 1:30, and we actually made it there by 2:00. I don't know how
Wow.
we did it.
Wow.
But in addition to that going on at the library, there was like this, what was it called? It was called the Comfort Food Festival in downtown
Oh, you
Toms
went to
River.
Tom's River. I thought you went to Brick Library.
No,
Oh,
Ocean
yeah,
County.
the food trucks. Lorianne was there with Michaela. Yes.
Yeah, so the food, it was all these vendors and comfort food. And yeah, I went to 2 festivals today. So
That's so nice.
yeah,
That's so nice.
but as we were walking into the library, Matt was dressed like Matt dresses in Matt's way,
Mhm.
with his gold shoes on and his pink pants and his pink shirt. And there's people out there protesting and trying, Jesus loves you, come to Jesus. And I'm like, Matt just walked by them. We just walked by them. But I wanted to say, like, he believes in Jesus and Jesus
Yeah,
loves him.
he
Jesus
knows
loves
Jesus
him.
loves him. Right, right,
Right.
right, right.
Jesus loves him. And like, leave him alone. Just
Right.
leave him alone.
Can't believe there were protesters there.
Yeah. It's so weird because I don't go to Tom's River that often for these things. I mean, I usually go for the Gay Pride Parade. They're
Yeah, but
always
I
there for
didn't see
that.
we didn't see protesters when we were there, did we?
No, there definitely were protesters. Yeah, I think I
Oh.
think because you showed up a little bit later. Yeah, no, there's protesters.
Okay, I did. I wound up meeting you guys there. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember seeing protesters. That's
Yeah.
awful. Just let people live for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's hurting you.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is why I'm glad that there are these organizations like GLAAD, because you know what?
Absolutely.
My son is loved by his family, accepted by his family,
Mhm.
but not everyone is,
I know.
not
I
everyone
know.
is. So next we see Jenn. She's talking to her son, Dawson. She sits down and has a talk with him. He's such a cute kid.
Super cute. Super cute.
And listen, I get it. He's a teenager and he wants his freedom. He's not used to having everyone up in his business because he's used to doing his own thing. I was
I thought it was
surprised.
interesting what she said about the father, though. Like, he lets him do what he wants. It's like, yeah, he doesn't want to fight the fight.
Right. He doesn't want to fight the fight, and he only has a 1-bedroom place, and he still would rather be there,
Yeah,
which
because he's going to
that's
get away with everything because his father's either not paying attention or not fighting the fight.
right.
When she said, waking him up for school, like that, I mean, knock on wood, this year has been much different. I'm knocking on every piece of wood I can find. This year, thank God, Joe's senior year, much, much different. But we've had those battles in the morning, trying to
Yeah,
get him up and out of the door. It's a struggle, and
it
I
is.
know we're not the only ones. So
No, absolutely not.
yeah,
I'm not sure what podcast it was, but I was listening to a podcast with Jenn. Maybe I sent it to you, and she was talking about her relationship with her ex and how he had sold the company.
Jeff Lewis,
Was it Jeff Lewis?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
And how much money he got and how he's still not paying her. Like, that blows my mind. Doesn't
It
that blow your
happens.
mind?
It does blow my mind, and I don't know why it happens, and I don't know why judge doesn't get involved and, you know, put sanctions on people who aren't paying what according to their agreements that they have signed and has been entered into the court.
Right.
If you've signed something and agreed to it and it's entered into the court, you are responsible for holding up your end of the deal. And if you don't, my personal opinion is that a judge should get involved and force you to do it. But there are people out there who do not think that the law applies to them. And it's very sad because it's a very immature way to live and irresponsible and
It
not
is.
a good example for your children.
It is very sad. And I just hope that, one, that Jenn is okay and her children are okay, because if her husband is not, her ex-husband is not paying his fair share, and she's relying on her housewife's salary plus whatever Ryan is helping her with. After we listened to the Bravo docket about the whole Ryan case and really what that's about, I'm a little fearful for her, because although we don't know exactly what Ryan does and what exactly he's involved in, I mean, they did say during the Bravo docket that he has immunity. He has immunity, so he's not going to be charged with anything, I would assume.
So he made some kind of plea bargain.
Right, right, right.
But what he did was illegal. The thing is, though, that did he know? I mean, so the story is that that baseball player's manager stole money from the baseball player.
It was actually
And
his interpreter, like his
right,
interpreter.
I'm
Right.
sorry, you're right.
Yeah, it was his,
And
yeah.
wired it to pay off a gambling debt. Now, obviously, that's illegal activity anyway because of the gambling. However, with Venmo and Zelle and all that, wires, you could pay people for things and people don't know about it, know the real reason. So the recipient of that wire, they don't know where that money's coming from because the interpreter probably took it from the baseball player's account and put it into his account and then wired it out of his account. I mean,
Right.
if you wired it directly from the baseball players, but again, like, listen, I do wires all day at work. Like, I receive them, I record them, I send them, I facilitate them, initiate them. I only know, well, you do get wiring instructions. You do get wiring instructions, and you do see who the beneficiary is, who the wire is going to, and when the wire comes through, you do see whose name's on the account.
Well, like you said, he could have sent it to himself and then
For
wired it.
sure, that's what I'm thinking must have happened.
Because he changed the account and made himself in control of it. He changed the email and the phone number.
Yeah. So the recipient of that incoming wire would have no idea that that was stolen money from somebody else.
Right.
So, I mean, the gambling activity, like, basically he's a bookie.
Right.
He's a glorified bookie.
Right.
So that, yes, that's illegal activity, but I don't know what repercussions are involved. But he didn't steal the baseball player's money. Like, I
No.
feel like the Broad Bros are like hardcore against Ryan with this whole thing. And I know they're big sports guys, but it's like, he didn't know that that money was stolen from that baseball player.
No, how would he?
Right. And neither
how
did
would
his
he?
friend who's running the whole operation that he's basically working for.
Right. No, how would he?
Right.
I think it's because the one is a former baseball player.
Oh, right.
So
Right.
baseball's like their thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they go hard for Ryan. I mean, listen, we didn't like Ryan at first either,
No, we didn't.
but I
No,
like him
we
now.
didn't. I do too.
I hope it
I do
works out.
too.
I think he's good for
I
Jenn.
hope it works out, and I hope he comes out of this okay. This,
I do too.
legal issue,
I do too. So Jenn is having this fiesta party at his house.
which is beautiful, by the way.
Beautiful. I mean, when Gina walked up and said there's a water feature in the backyard.
I just thought $1 million listing when Josh Flagg dressed up as the shark, and he was like, "Here's your water feature." Yeah.
And then she has it catered, and Emily's like, I'm going to go get tacos. Emily and her tacos.
Yeah.
And then she starts telling the girls about what happened with Dawson and how he's going to go live with her dad. And then we see Vicki and Shannon, they're doing their show. Shannon tells, actually, before they were doing their show, we see them like arrive at the venue and they're practicing to slingshot the T-shirts into the audience.
Oh my gosh.
Which was hysterical to watch. Hysterical.
He's like, aim up, aim high. And they're like, boop, Like
Yeah.
it goes,
And Vicky's like, I saw this at the Adele concert, and she had this big gun, and nobody was injured. I'm like, okay, well, you're not Adele, and you have a
right.
slingshot.
I don't think there's going to be quite that many people in your audience as Adele.
Right. I was surprised. It was a cute, like it was a comedy club kind of audience, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
setup, which I really liked. I thought it was, good setup for their show because of the way they do it. And there was, it was a packed house.
Yeah.
I was glad to see that.
Yeah.
So then afterwards we see Shannon, she starts talking to the audience about how she was arrested and she made a horrible mistake and now she's working on herself. And listen, I like that she's owning it and she's talking about it because what else can she do? Right? She's got to
Yeah.
move forward. What else can
Yeah.
she do? And the audience seemed very receptive to her and, they knew what they were going to see. They knew it was
Right.
going to be Vicki and Shannon.
Right.
My God, these crickets. I have 2 giant crickets in my basement. Bill said he's going to get me some sticky things.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just,
The
yeah,
sticky pads, they just
yeah.
stick to them.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's a.
I get so distracted.
Before we get to the party, though,
Yeah.
the candle making
Oh,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Katie and Tamara and their daughters.
Yes.
So I felt like when Sophia was talking about how, because Tamara's like, well, you don't want kids. And she was like, well, I really think that you need to really want kids to have kids so you can be present. I felt like everything she was saying to Tamara. And then Tamara totally turns it around and makes it like it's Simon's fault. And then she starts fake crying with no tears again.
She did start the fake crying 100%. And I agree with you about that because I actually wrote down some quotes during that whole thing because I was like, I cannot believe that once again, Tamara is making it about herself because what Sophia was saying, she literally said it would be irresponsible of me to have a child if I wasn't 100% into it just because 2 people loved each other or they were trying to save their marriage.
Right.
And, Kylie could relate to that because she has such a tough time with her father, too. So before that happened, Tamara had asked Kylie about her boyfriend because, she had this boyfriend. And Kylie was saying how, he, after a week of dating her, he texted her, I love you.
Yeah.
And then he got mad that she didn't say it back. And then he was gaslighting her, say it. And she's like, so that's done. So all I got was COVID from that. And Tamara's like, well, at least it wasn't an STD because that stays with you forever. The look on Katie's face was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like you just said this on camera in front of the world and
right. About her daughter. Right. About her daughter. And then the other thing that she said was the moral of the story is when Sophia said that about having children, the moral of the story is be careful who you procreate with.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's such a dig to your kids.
And their father. Listen, you don't have to like Simon, but your other 2 children have a relationship with Simon.
Right. And we don't even know if Sophia has a relationship with her father or not. We just learned this year that Sophia has lived with Tamara all along. Tamara is a liar. So we don't know if Sophia doesn't speak to her father. Tamara's just saying that.
That's true. It's true.
Every time Tamara brings up Simon in front of Sophia, she says, I'm not talking about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean she doesn't talk to her dad. That means she's not discussing her dad with you, Tamara.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Listen, I think her daughter is very mature. Mm-hmm. I think that she had to grow up very fast because she even says in the confessional, like, I was very young when this happened and it really affected me. I will also say that her daughter with the dark hair doesn't look anything like Tamara, but as soon as she dyed her hair blonde, I think she looks exactly like Tamara.
Yeah.
Sophia. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Listen, Tamara's beautiful, but she's just an asshole.
Yes, for sure is.
She's just an asshole.
She just is. On this show, she is. When she was just on the podcast, she was great.
Yeah. All right. So then we'll jump back to the fiesta.
Party.
Back to the fiesta. So Emily goes and gets her taco. And then Heather thanks Alexis for coming to the GLAAD Awards. Alexis says, seeing what you do gives me the strength to move forward. This is the other thing that got me crazy in my life with my battle.
Yeah.
And then
what
Heather's
battle?
So then Heather says, you should have brought John because I know how he supports you. And the girls ask Alexa, what's going on? You seem off. But not only do the girls ask Alexa, Tamara is yelling at her. What's happening? What's happening? Like in her face, being obnoxious.
Because she wants her to start talking poorly about Shannon. She's egging her on to just drag Shannon through the mud.
And then Heather's like, well, just calm down, let her speak. And what she says is, first, Tamara says, are you and John okay? And she's like, yeah. She goes, is it a Shannon thing? And she said, well, it's the legal issues and everything. And then she starts crying. I just lost my mom. I just broke up with my ex-fiance. And, the legal battles, which really aren't your battles. So I don't know why you're making them your battles.
Right.
Like they're not your battles. But Alexis is very much like Tamara, making everything about her, which we'll see later on when Emily is trying to have her conversation with Heather. And Alexis keeps inserting herself.
Yep.
Just because she mentioned her name.
Oh my God, that
ridiculous.
Was brutal. But Alexa's starting to cry. Her boyfriend is suing his ex-girlfriend. Tell him to stop, and maybe that will stop all of your stress.
Right.
Stop. Just stop. Drop it. It's
right.
Stupid. You gave her money while you were together. You didn't think about getting the money back from her until 2 years after you gave it to her because now you're dating somebody else. Like, come on, dude.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
Exactly. So then at one point, Tamara and Emily are in the kitchen talking about what Alexis is saying and how it's crazy town. And then Tamara says, well, I guess John has a type, meaning Shannon and Alexis are both crazy. Again.
What an asshole.
Right.
Alexis is supposed to be your friend.
Right. Well, Shannon was your friend too, remember?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like.
So then Jenn brings out the giant Jenga, which I thought would have been fine until they put the stupid questions on the giant Jenga.
Tamara is such an asshole. Is she the one that wrote "Show me your butthole"?
I'm sure it was her.
She's so stupid. How fucking old are you? How old are you?
Yeah.
And who did it, Katie?
Yes, Katie. So the first question is, Alexis pulls the first one, and the first question is, who do you hate? And she says, I hate the devil. And then she throws the block in the fire. Okay. Really? Like, all right. That's dumb.
Yeah, right.
And then Gina pulls hers and she says, and hers is, how big is his dick? And she says, not big enough, which was a fine answer. Like, these are stupid questions. Then Heather pulls one and it says, bark like a dog. So Heather barked like a dog.
You know what?
What?
Heather did a pretty good job barking like a dog.
She did. I'm surprised.
Hey.
Can you imagine if she got the one that said, show me your asshole?
I think producers played a part in this.
Okay, so then sure. Katie gets the one that says, show me your butthole, and she picks up her dress and shows Tamara and Emily. Then Tamara gets the one that says, take off your pants and pee in the yard. She didn't have pants on, so she just sat there on the patio and peed.
On the patio.
On
their beautiful stamped concrete patio. What a piece of shit. Listen, she's white trash, and I don't like to use that term. Tamara is the poster child for white trash.
I mean, Jenn even said the dogs know not to pee on the concrete.
How juvenile and rude and disgusting.
So then after that, Tamara says to Heather, oh, when does your clothing line come out? And she says, oh, in a few months. And that's when Emily says, listen, I have a question to ask you. When you asked for our measurements, you texted us and told us all the things to bring. You told me to bring jeans. When I got there, I thought everyone else was going to be bringing jeans too. Heather's like, no, everyone had different things to bring. Emily says, well, what hurt me was when I walked out in the end and I saw that everyone had on stuff by Susan Bender and I didn't. And I had to bring my own pants. And, I felt out of place. And Heather says, she said, no, I am so sorry. She said, I'm so sorry. She's like, I didn't, she did absolutely apologize.
She did apologize.
And she apologized. She actually apologized more than once. She's like, I didn't want you to feel bad. She was apologizing. So I will give her that. But I think Emily just needed a little more than an apology. And honestly, I think if Alexis and Tamara weren't there.
Yes, I agree with you.
May have happened because then when she brought up the Alexis wearing the same dress, then Alexis brought it back to her. And then she started yelling when it had nothing to do with her.
100% nothing to do with her.
And then when Emily got up and tried to pull Heather aside to talk to her alone, Heather was already upset that she had called her out in front of everybody. And just, I don't know how much time went on between that, but she was like, like, you should have just talked to me alone. Again, Tamara got involved and Alexis still getting involved.
Right.
So I just feel like the two of them kept like fueling this for no reason. If it
Right.
was just Heather and Emily, it would have been resolved. Emily would have got to say what she felt, and Heather would have heard her and would have apologized. And she did apologize. I mean, she apologized more than once. She absolutely apologized.
Right.
But I don't think Emily heard it because of all the commotion that was going on around it. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
And it's sad because, listen, it painted Heather in a bad light when it really shouldn't have.
Well, at first I'm like, oh my God, she's not taking any accountability. But then she did apologize, and I was like, okay, good. But yet, once Alexis just inserted herself and just consumed the whole thing. And I agree with you. If that had not happened, I think that Heather would have been able to fully explain herself.
Right.
And Emily, listen, Emily's a reasonable, rational person. Like, she's not going to be like, that's not good enough for me. She's not going to be like that. You show her a sincere apology, she's going to accept it.
Exactly.
But it just got all jacked up because of Alexis. Why did they bring her? I mean, bravo. Bad move. You have to see that this was a bad move.
I mean, all the girls are on the couch trying to tell Alexis it's not about her. And the more they're trying to tell her, the louder and more obnoxious she's getting.
Right.
And then, Tamara walks out saying, this is not okay. Again, fueling the fire.
Right.
And then Gina goes up to Emily and hugs her. And she's like, listen, I know you're upset about this. It didn't have to end that way. Like, it didn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish that Alexis wasn't there.
Me too.
I wish that Tamara wasn't there. Give Tamara and Alexis their own show.
Yeah.
Bring back Vicki and Shannon.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm done with those two. I seriously am done with those two.
Yeah. They should bring Vicki back. They should get rid of Tamara. I hate when somebody thinks the show surrounds
one
them.
person. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It's an ensemble cast. Every Housewives franchise is an ensemble cast. There's not one franchise where I think one person carries the show. I don't think Kyle carries Beverly Hills. I don't think Teresa carries Jersey. I mean, I don't think Candy carried Atlanta.
No, I agree with you.
There's not one that I could be like, yeah, okay. It's an ensemble cast. Tamara, I think, thinks she saved the show because the ratings were so bad after they got rid of her. I don't agree with it.
No, I agree with you. I didn't like her last season. I didn't like her when she was on originally. She was annoying to me. I was glad that she was off. I think it's time for her to go again. I really think it's time for her to go again. And I hope Bravo sees that. I really do.
Right.
I'd rather see Gina come back. Keo. Right?
How fabulous does she look for 70?
With Vicki?
Crying out loud.
I would love to see.
That would be great. Bring Gina and Vicki back. Yeah. Let's see if we can get Lori Peterson too.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Amazing for her that all worked out with her husband. Oh, I mean, I feel terrible. She lost her son, but
yeah, it is terrible.
I mean, that guy really loves her.
Yeah.
If there was ever any doubt in anyone's mind, like she met a good guy that just wanted to take care of her. God bless her. Not take care. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
That wanted to love her and treat her right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all I have for OC, unless anything
That's all I got for OC. I was glad to see it go.
Yeah. Well, we're not done yet, but
I know. It's so funny because remember last year, Bob Rose was like, this is the worst show. I can't sit through it. And they think the season's great, which I guess it is good.
I don't even listen to them anymore because I really don't agree with them anymore. It's so weird because I used to agree with them. And I don't know if I've changed or if they've changed. What do you think it is? Because you used to agree with them too.
I did. And the OC right now, I'm like with them on stuff especially because Steele talks about how Tamara's coming too hard at Shannon for the drinking. Like, you can't tell someone they're an alcoholic.
Right. Well, because
Can't
he
do that.
understands that. He understands
Yes,
that
and
whole.
I'd like to hear his perspective.
Yes.
I don't think I listened to them through Jersey because we did not
See
agree.
eye to eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, people.
Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Bye.
Bye.